Hey folks, Brendan here from Bluelight, and for those of you who haven't seen any of my videos before, over the past several years I've been coaching and supporting people for the police recruitment process with a lot of success. A good 3,000 people are now, plus actually 3,000 plus people are in the police as a result of my support, so something I'm really chuffed about. So what's this video all about? Well, just been asked about 10 minutes ago by one of my clients. I've got my assessment centre coming up tomorrow. What would your 5 tips be for me? That got me thinking, what an interesting question. So here are my 5 tips for those of you who are preparing for the assessment centre. Of course, shameless plug here, on my online courses and seminars and one-to-one coaching, I offer far more than just 5 tips. Actually, one of the biggest complaints I get from my clients is there's just too much, you've put too much stuff out there, too many videos, too many guidance things, too many templates, too many scripts, too much stuff. I've not met anyone yet who's got through all of the stuff I've put out there. But anyway, better too much than too little. But anyway, five things that came to the top of my head in the space of just a couple of minutes. Scribbled them down. Here's the first one. Right, first one, maths and verbal reasoning. Just chill out. Just chill out about it. I was chatting to one of my clients earlier today who did the assessment centre a few months ago, just providing some coaching for their final interview, and they said that they're absolutely hopeless at maths, hopeless at it, and they looked at all of these percentages questions and just gave up. They just gave up and put the answers what they could and put C for everything else. And do you know what? My theory held true. Those of you who've seen my videos on this before know that I advise everyone just to put C for anything you can't answer. She got a C. Fantastic. And the thing is, folks, you cannot fail on the maths and verbal reasoning. So you could get the most atrocious of scores and still not fail. And the thing is, it's about 2%. Each one is about 2% of the total mark. So there's all your marks. And there's 2% of the marks. That's the maths bit. And there's the verbal reasoning bit. 2% of your total marks. But what some of you are doing, if that's 100% of all your time, and the maths and the verbal reasoning is about 4% in total, you're spending about that much time focusing on the maths and verbal reasoning. Does that make any sense? Makes no sense at all to me. So stop doing it. If you're going to focus any time at all on the maths and English, just focus on my advice, answer what you can, and put C for everything else. So there's my number 1 tip. Number 2, what have I got there? Yes, the role players, they're not there to agree with you. They have no emotion at all. If they do show any emotion, they're probably new role players. But the way the College of Policing scripts them up is to give them about 15 or so lines with no emotion whatsoever. And they just deliver those lines depending on the questions you ask. Now, in my seminars, whenever I run these role play practice sessions and we debrief them, I invariably get my candidates saying things like, yeah, but it really put me off when you said, is that the best you can do? When I provided some great solutions. Don't be put off. Expect it. You should expect the role players, whenever you provide any kind of solution, just to go, is that the best you can do? Or, well, that's not going to work. Whatever you think is best. Or, nah, I don't want to take part in that. I'm not interested. So you've got to be ready for that. And you know what to do. If you're one of my clients, you know exactly what to do. Exactly what to do. Deliver CUDSA and keep with your mission. And when they say that, just smile at them. So if they say, is that the best you can do? Smile at them and just continue with your agenda. And you know what that agenda is. So tip number 3, what have I got here? Oh yes, the interview. Now, the interview at the assessment centre, it's not like any interview you've had before. This will be the weirdest conversation you will never have again, just like the role plays. Except it's not even a conversation. Now, I've seen what the script is for the interviewers, not because I've stolen it from the College of Policing, but because some bright spark at a positive action workshop in Diffid Powys decided to share the script for the assessors for the interview with their positive action candidates, complete with a marking guide, I might add. Now, it had College of Policing sensitive right at the top of it, so that should have been the first nudge for them that this shouldn't be shared. And before you ask, yes, I did report it to the College of Policing, who are just a bit sort of ambivalent about it. So, hey, I did my bit. Did they do their bit? No, but anyway, am I bothered? Not really. Am I prepared to share that script with you? Actually, and I'll share a little bit of it with you, but I'm not prepared to share the marking guide, because the marking guide is just not helpful. The marking guide is written in competency speak, and unless you are fluent in competency speak, you won't understand the marking guide, and it'll do nothing more than confuse you. So, as opposed to actually helping and supporting the positive action candidates, what this bright spark from Difford Powers did is probably confuse the hell out of them. So, but the script, you're going to walk into a room and there's going to be 2 chairs there, and on one of the chairs will be the assessor, interviewer. There's no table in between you. There might be a table next to you with a folder on it. As you walk in, expect this. Expect them just to say, take a seat, can I just check your candidate number? And then say something like, I'm going to ask you 4 questions. You have 5 minutes to answer each one of those questions. Each question is written down in that folder, so you can read it at the same time as me, saying the question to you. And that's it. They'll just launch straight into the questions. You've got 5 minutes to answer each one. Whilst you're talking, they just do this. Or maybe they'll do this with their notes in front of them. Or as one of my clients described recently, you can imagine some glasses there, the woman just looked at me like she was chewing a wasp. Like that. They're not interested. I mean, they're asking the same questions that they asked in September 2015. That's when they changed the questions. I know what those questions are. They've been revealed at that many positive action workshops or derivations of them. Difford Powers, you're guilty of this as well. They've been shared with that many positive action candidates that I know what the questions are. So if you're one of my clients, go to the video in the client only Facebook group where I tell you what I believe those 4 questions are. And no one's ever come back to me to say that advice you gave me, Brendan, absolute nonsense. People will not breach the confidentiality agreement. They won't come back and say these were the questions, but they do come back and say everything you said was spot on. So go figure, folks, and thank you to all the forces, especially the Metropolitan Police, who have been telling their positive action candidates these are the questions. And by the way, yes, I did feed it back to the College of Policing, who once again were a bit sort of... actually, their response was, please don't share this with your clients. And I said, well, why not? If there's nothing wrong with what they're doing, why can't I share this with my clients? Or would rather you didn't? Well, I'm going to. Would rather you didn't. And you just went round in circles, so I just gave up. Anyway, they're going to show no emotion. If they do show some emotion, they're probably new assessors, new interviewers. And when you stop talking, if they've got no more supplementary questions to ask you, and they're scripted as well, there'll be things like, what other options did you consider? What was the impact on others? How exactly did you go about? What exactly did you do? Stuff like that. It just means that you haven't answered the question in the sort of detail they're looking for. If after all of that, you stop talking after 3 minutes, what do you think happens? Do you think they continue on to the next question? No. They will just gaze at you for 2 minutes until the buzzer goes, and then they go on to the next question. And all they're thinking about is, shall I have takeout tonight or shall I eat in the restaurant? Because they're probably living in a hotel close to the assessment centre. And that's what they're thinking. They ask that question probably 50 times a week. So how bored are they? So get them fired up. Really odd conversation. You're going to show loads of emotion and loads of passion and drive, and that you know the answers to these questions. And you should rehearse them as well. Rehearse, rehearse, rehearse. The hard work's in the rehearsal. The easy part is the actual acting on the day. And that's all you're doing, folks. There's nothing natural about this process. So that's another sort of tip, 4.5 or something, if you like. Although the College of Policing says that naturally, there's nothing natural about this process. They also say, just be yourself. Be yourself, and then they're asking you to role play a customer services officer at a shopping centre that doesn't exist, where everyone's got about 15 lines and every problem has to be resolved in the space of 5 minutes. Be yourself, act naturally. I don't think so. I sometimes play this little game on my seminars where I ask people what they do for a living, and then they'll say, oh, I work as a chemist. No, you don't. That's wrong. I'm sorry. Well, I'm a teacher. No, incorrect. I'm a PCSO. No, you're not. And eventually someone will cotton on and go, I'm a customer services officer at West Shire Centre. Yes, you are. You've got to immerse yourself in that world. So there's another top tip for you folks. What else have we got? That was 3.5, by the way. Point number 4, top tip number 4. When it comes to the written exercise, don't write things out how you'd normally write things out. Use bullet points. That's the only way you're going to get through that exercise. And actually, I've not met anyone who's completed the exercise. They all say, now most of my clients say, I never finished the written exercises. I'm surprised I passed. Now, one of the reasons why I think people are passing is because there's information boxes to complete. Thank you to, I can't remember which force it was now. It was a force that came up with a positive action workshop where they actually handed to them a report very similar to the sort of report they'd have on the day that they needed to complete. And that's what they said. This report is very similar to the one that you'll get on the day. It's actually from the United States, bizarrely, so it had things like offence committed, spelt the American way, but hey-ho. So there'll be information boxes. Make sure you put something in the information box that's correct, because my guess is there's a mark for each time you put the correct answer in the information box. So there you go, folks. Anything else, just write it out in bullet points as fast as you can. Use the structure that I provide for you on my online course. What else? No, that's it, isn't it? Hang on a minute. That's 5, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that's 4. Oh my goodness. So, well, I gave you 5 anyway. I called it number 3.5. I did tell you I just sketched it down quickly, and one of my clients asked it me 10 minutes ago. So there you go, folks. Some top tips for you and a little bit of useless information about what forces are doing to try and get their positive action candidates through. My advice to them, stop game playing. It's not going to be helpful at all in the long run. And at some point, you're going to come unstuck. Because once someone blows the whistle on the fact that you're giving people the questions, Metropolitan Police and other forces, I mean you. I mean, Metropolitan Police have just come up with a new Day 1 assessment centre. It's cost about £500,000 to design and develop in conjunction with the College of Policing. And no sooner had they done that than in their positive action workshops, they've come up with a 40-page document to hand to their candidates, which has, it's not a marking guide. This is what the College of Policing said. It's not a marking guide. It's a rating guide. I've seen the rating guide. I've seen this document. Rating guide, marking guide, call it what you want. It's a marking guide. I've aligned those criteria against the competency and values framework. It's a marking guide. And so they're also giving all sorts of little top tips about what to expect at the role plays. So there you go, game playing in action. God bless the police, eh? They always get up to stuff like that. They just can't help it. Anyway, hope you found this useful. Bit of a long video for you there, but you know, these tips are gold dust apparently. If you'd like to find out a little bit more about my courses, click on the link below. It'll tell you more about them. And also, if you'd like to join the Facebook group, which is rapidly expanding, so the client-only Facebook group, despite the fact that people join and leave when they pass, has now got over 1,000 members. And my bigger Facebook group that's there for anyone to join, that's the one where the link is below, now has almost 6,000 members. Almost 6,000 members. Wow! Didn't ever dream that it ever becomes so big. It takes a lot of time to manage as well. But hey ho, just ask to join and I will click the button that says, yes, please do come and join us. So until next time, folks, it's Brendan here from Bluelight saying goodbye, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.